In 1408, a wedding was celebrated at Volsey Church in Greenland. It was the last recorded event in the history of the Norse settlements. 2 years later, silence. Around 500 years of Viking civilization in Greenland simply vanished. For centuries, historians debated what happened. Was it war, starvation, disease? Until recently, we had no definitive answer. But in 2023, scientists extracted ancient DNA directly from the bones of the Norse Greenlanders, and for the first time, the dead began to speak. Today, we're going to piece together the full story, not just from historical records, but from the DNA of people who lived and died on that frozen island 1,000 years ago. This is the story of how Vikings conquered one of the harshest environments on Earth, and how they lost. To understand what killed the Vikings of Greenland, we first need to understand why they went there in the first place. And that story begins with one man, Eric the Red. Eric the Red was a Norwegian Viking who was exiled from Iceland after killing 2 men in a dispute. Rather than accept his exile quietly, Eric sailed west into the unknown. In 985 CE, he discovered a massive island with green fjords along its southern coast. He named it Greenland, deliberately, some historians believe, to make it sound more appealing than it was. Eric established the first settlement in 985 CE. Within a decade, around 25 ships arrived carrying settlers from Iceland and Norway. 2 main settlements developed. The eastern settlement, or Oosterbygd, became the larger and more prosperous colony with around 2,000 people at its peak. The western settlement, or Vesterbygd, was smaller, housing roughly 1,000 people. Together, they formed one of the most remote Viking communities ever established. The Norse Greenlanders built their society around farming, cattle, sheep, and goats. They raised livestock in the green fjords during the short summers. They hunted seals and walrus for food and trade. Walrus ivory was incredibly valuable in medieval Europe, and it became Greenland's main export, funding the colony's connection to the outside world. For nearly 300 years, this system worked. The 2023 ancient DNA study confirmed what historians suspected. The Norse Greenlanders were genetically Scandinavian, closely matching modern Danish and Norwegian populations. But there was something interesting in the maternal DNA. Around 25% of the settlers carried Celtic maternal lineages, haplogroup U and X variants, suggesting that, just like in Iceland, Norse men had enslaved or married Celtic women from Ireland and Scotland before sailing to Greenland, the same pattern we see across every Viking settlement in the North Atlantic.